Hello everybody and welcome. This is Voyage and we're now in Set 3 of the Internet White Knights versus HiveMind 2. And in the top left we have Revo. In the top left playing for HiveMind we've got Revo, and in the top right KnightofNi, and that's the HiveMind team. And then in the bottom right we've got ProbeFarM, and in the bottom left Sentenal. And we're on dire straits, and I'm just going to show you this pretty quickly while everyone's building up. It's an island map. That's why you're seeing Protoss and Terran versus Protoss and Terran, because you really don't need the early units. I'm looking at the mini-map. There's island expansions, and then there's no mineral patch to prevent a floating command center, so you can just float a command center there. And the bases are really large. I'm just scrolling through. I hope I'm not making you dizzy, but if you can build a factory here and maybe float it down to here, and hopefully Sentinel wouldn't notice. And if you like critters, this is a great map for critters. There's some Ursidons, and there's like Karus flying all around and things like that with the Karus. And what we're going to see on this map is most likely drop tack and possibly air units like scouts, probably not scouts, but and we're going to see really quick attack. Gases will probably be going down in just a second, and that's an 11 gas, not a 12 gas. I'm surprised the gateway doesn't necessarily need to be that early. It could have been an 11 gas, 11 gate. But anyway, as I said, Terran can float buildings, and they can pick up an early expansion that way. And I expect both of the Protosses to go for early robotics facilities, or another route they can take is they could go for arbiters. One recall could win the game, and in the interest of full disclosure, I saw this game. I was mostly through this game when I achieved an epic fail, and so I'm re-recording this game. So I do know a little what's about to happen, but some of the stuff that I predicted I called right in the first game. So don't just say he's just going to. But I'll try to commentate it though I haven't seen it. This barracks was built really close to the edge, probably so they can float around. And meanwhile, it looks like that SCV was going out to build a barracks. I guess it was scouting a proxy. None of the players, I'll unreveal the map. None of the players have scouted each other, and I guess ProbeFarM, who's the orange, was checking for a barracks that was landing in his base, and he's producing a factory. We're probably going to see one factory into starports, and then a control tower. That's almost undoubtedly what we're going to see. Although a second factory going down. I don't know if Revo's forgetting what map he's on, and he's canceling that. Maybe he was trying to build a starport, but he didn't realize this factory wasn't constructed yet, so he couldn't build a starport. This barracks was built really close to the edge, and so that it can be floated, but it's not being floated yet. It looks like the choice of tech is a Stargate for purple, and purple is KnightofNi, the captain actually of HiveMind 2, and for Sentinel, we see a Citadel, so that could be setting up for Templar tech into Arbiters. And the early Stargate indicates he's going for a Corsair, so he's predicting the Corsair. I think really isn't good. I think this might be a map where scouts are viable, because scouts kill air units quite quickly, and Corsairs take a very long time of it. They're great against Overlords, because Overlords are just so gosh darn slow. A Dragoon stuck in the probe line. Meanwhile, command center going down for Revo. Revo's going for an early armory, so he's going to have Goliath, and he's going for an economic build, and the Goliaths are going to be very defensive, and he's upgrading Terran boosters, and he's floating his barracks out. At the trajectory he's floating it, he could land it around here and produce some surprise Marines, although that pylon would scout it, so it wouldn't be surprised. It looks like chasing down some Kakarus. Sentinel does not like neutral map units. This must be his least favorite map. That poor neutral unit. And a robotics facility and a second gateway going down for Sentinel. and meanwhile a robotics facility is up and an observatory going up for KnightofNi. There's a starport already up producing a dropship, and it looks like it's going to be a 4 Vulture drop machine shop going down. It's probably going to be mines, and that barrack still hasn't lifted off the float. This barrack, it actually looks like now, is heading towards here so that it can land and block the expansion so that ProbeFarM can't take an early expansion. The first dropship is out, and it looks to be a 2 Marine, 3 Vulture drop. And to be quite honest, I think a 4 Vulture drop would be more effective. Vultures 2-hit probes, whereas Marines take, 8 hits to kill a probe, something like that. And Vulture Mines is upgrading, and it upgrades quite quickly. So by the time, and a probe dropping off by KnightofNi, he might have seen that dropship, I don't know. A probe dropping off to set up an expansion. One of the great secrets of being great at StarCraft, not that I'm great at StarCraft, and the drop is coming in now. Mines are still not up, taking down initially 3 or 4 probes, but now they're focusing on a Dragoon, which is quite ineffective because Vultures don't do very good damage against Dragoons. It's just not something that they only do like 10 or 5 damage or something like that. Whereas they kill probes because of the type of damage they do. They're effective. And a Wraith out that immediately dies, so Wraith may be not a good decision to build. And there's more Wraith, and more Wraiths coming. So the dropship is hiding out on top of the Scanted, and that Vulture is still alive. Surprisingly, the mines came up, and it must have been microing around for a mine. With its mines for a little while. The Corsair is out, and it's just scouting around. It's probably, I guess this is to intercept a dropship, to scout a drop coming from two Revo's base from Sentenal, and Sentenal is setting up an expansion in the middle. The last